China's latest humanoid robot just did a full shutdown and drop in the middle of a fancy mall. This was not a prank, it was the big debut. Meanwhile, its American counterpart spent the same month doing industrial parkour. It feels like we are watching two different timelines of the future loading side by side. Let's break down what actually happened and what it quietly says about China, the US, and a robot race neither side can afford to lose. Shenzhen, when physical AI meets gravity. Shenzhen Bay Mix C, a high-end mall in one of China's richest tech hubs. At the end of January 2026, XPeng rolled out its new humanoid robot, Iron, a full-size, roughly 5 feet 8 inches, 70-kilo physical AI that is supposed to be the star of the show. Iron steps onto the stage with an eerily human, runway-style catwalk. And this is not the first time that walk has caused trouble. At an earlier unveiling, the gait was so realistic that people in the audience were convinced it was a human in a suit. The suspicion got so intense that the team actually opened up parts of the shell on stage to prove it was a real robot and not someone cosplaying future tech. Fast forward to Shenzhen. Same confident walk, same slick presence. This time, when Iron lifts its arm to wave, the future forgets how balance works. The robot twists, loses control, and slams into the stage face first. You hear the thud, the crowd gasps, then starts laughing, and 3 staff members rush in to drag this 70-kilo piece of tomorrow off the ground like a heavyweight boxer who forgot to guard. Phones are out, clips go viral, and the internet does what it always does. Meme first, questions later. XPeng's founder comes out afterward and says this is like a child learning to walk, that falling is part of the process. From an engineering point of view, that is reasonable. Visually, it looked less like a toddler learning to walk and more like an operating system crash in public. The important part is that this was not just random bad luck. It is a side effect of how China is choosing to run this race. When the priority is show something now instead of make sure it works, the floor is eventually going to win a few rounds. The 4 robots one-day reality check. If you want an unfiltered reality check from inside China, that blogger with 4 rented humanoid robots tells you more about the state of the tech than any government plan or promo video. He lines up 4 of the most advanced humanoids in China, including Engineer, Unitree, Agibot, and Ubtech. He then asks them to do things that are not exactly science fiction. Hand over a book, close a window, wash his face, pass snacks, lay a blanket, give a massage. The result is not a patriotic tech showcase. It is a highlight reel of how fragile and awkward these systems still are. One robot freezes when asked to hand over a book, basically becoming a mannequin with a CPU. Another nearly knocks itself over trying to close a window. A combat-type robot responds to office tasks by doing combo moves, which is funny on camera but would be a workplace accident waiting to happen in real life. Ubtech is asked to talk about the stock market and instead hits the blackboard and screen. If the goal is intelligent assistant, the reality is expensive hazard. The home tests are not better. Face washing turns into towel to the face grinding, mic and all. Toothbrushing turns into a lecture about technique because the robot cannot even squeeze toothpaste. A robot hand that should enable gentle grooming instead switches to fight choreography. These are not minor UX bugs. They highlight how far the gap still is between the marketing pitch, humanoid assistant, and safe, useful day-to-day use. Yes, the blogger laughs it off and says he can feel the potential. That is exactly the problem. In 2026, China is still selling potential while the robots fail at basic tasks. Calling these the most advanced in China is not a flex. It is a warning label. 2 systems, 2 sets of problems. On the US side, Atlas leads where it counts: balance, control, and dynamic movement. It still fails, but those failures get analyzed, not marketed. The rule is simple. If it cannot do hard factory work safely and reliably, it does not ship. This path is slower, but decisions are driven by engineering and customers, not slogans. On the China side, humanoid robots are a strategic sector. Targets, deadlines, and big talk land on tech that does not care about politics. Companies are pushed to show quick progress, promise mass production, and stage flashy demos. That is how you get a robot face-planting in a luxury mall and 4 flagship robots turning daily life into slapstick. Behind that is a robot bubble. Local governments and funds throw money at anything labeled AI plus robot. On paper, it looks like a boom. In reality, many firms bleed cash and rely on subsidies and fresh funding, not solid sales. You do not get dozens of profitable champions. You get dozens of loss-making firms chasing the same buzzword. This pressure-first, subsidy-heavy model is great for headlines. It is bad for building reliable tech. The danger is not no robots, but too many half-finished robots nobody trusts, all funded with red ink because no one wants to say, this is not ready. Form versus function, who is actually closer to useful? Chinese humanoids are sold as friendly helpers for homes, shops, and offices. In real tests, they cannot reliably hand over a book or wash a face without turning it into comedy. That is not almost there. That is early alpha dressed up as a launch. If a Western company shipped robots this flaky, Chinese state media would tear it apart. Atlas is built for industrial work. The rule is brutal. Do the job better or safer than a human and survive a factory. If it cannot, Hyundai will not deploy it. So yes, you see more humanoids in public in China. That does not mean China is winning. It may just mean the bar for good enough to show is lower. The price question without the hype. China's edge is price. Some firms talk about humanoids in the mid-five-figure dollar range, far below Western expectations. Add subsidies and political pressure, and you get machines that look fine in slides but wobble when you turn them on. Many of these companies live on government programs, local incentives, and investors hoping scale will fix broken unit economics. Cheap and everywhere sounds impressive until you realize cheap is subsidized, and everywhere often means installed for show. Cheap and everywhere only matters if the robots work. If they are clumsy, fragile, and unsafe, you are not seeing the future of productivity. You are seeing props nobody trusts once the cameras stop. So what does the faceplant really mean? Watch only the clips and you can say China's robots are a joke or China is catching up fast. Reality sits between those lines. The US still leads in top-tier performance. Atlas proves it. China is sprinting with a mix of real engineering, political pressure, easy money, and wishful thinking. The Xpeng faceplant and the 4-robot apartment test show that clash. Strong hardware and loud promises, dragged down by weak control, poor reliability, and loss-making business models. These videos show how far the official story is from everyday reality. The tech exists and is improving, but the gap between a glossy promo and a robot you would actually trust is still huge. Rushing for patriotic headlines does not close that gap. It just makes the crashes more public.